Next up, we have pinworms. And so while they're pretty common, they are not very harmful to the horse. So that is good news. And so pinworms have a very simple lifestyle. They ultimately shed their eggs on the horse's anus, and the parasites don't really leave the herd, and they can be really infective to a bunch of different horses. And so what happens is we have our eggs that are going to be present in the environment. And when they reach this third infective stage, they're going to be consumed by the horse. Well, if they're consumed by the horse at this stage, they now develop into more infective larvae. And so as they become adults, as they reach this reproductive stage, this female pinworm is going to ultimately travel to the anus and deposit these eggs on the outer portion of that anus with this gelatinous coating that her eggs will be on. And she normally does this during a time that the horse is resting or relaxing. So we often see this happening towards the morning, and then overnight or in the morning, and then she can go back inside. Ultimately, after she's kind of been at this reproductive stage, she might also just pass and just, leave the body, but no longer be infective, right? Be in the manure. And then the eggs will continue to develop in this free living stage before they can be ingested again. And so, one issue with this is because the parasite is just living in there and attaching its eggs to the horse is taking those parasites with them as they are traveling. So if you have a horse with pinworms and they're going to events and they're rubbing their butt on places, that can be a way to spread those pinworms. And so that's going to be our biggest sign, is going to be tail rubbing. And so to see if your horse has pinworms, you're not really going to be able to see it on a fecal egg count because it's not going to be as consistently deposited in the manure. Rather, you can do something called a Scotch tape test. And again, you collect it in the morning because that's most likely when you'll see these eggs still deposited on the anus. You get about 4 inches of a clear type of Scotch tape, press it firmly against the anus, not the hair, and then you fold it in half, which kind of turns it into like a microscope slide, and you can stick it under a microscope to view any pinworm eggs that might be present. And so, once again, not very harmful, cosmetic, right? The horse might rub their tail a bunch and create a bunch of short hairs or no hair in certain places. So we want to treat it, but knowing that it's not going to be a cause of death for a horse is a good relief.